Good morning, it's day 116 of the Repton Oak visit. um, I've been very busy this morning in the kitchen cooking, which is always a pleasure and a saviour for me. I went to Zero Waste Food Bank yesterday. Just feeling absolutely fucked. Can't think of any better word to describe it. The last thing I wanted to do was sit and queue for an hour and a half, sit on the concrete because I haven't got the strength to stand for very long. But it was actually really nice. There are nice people there, and there's kind of a sense of community spirit, which is kind of what I believe in and enjoy. So there's a few of us that get there really early. I can't be in enclosed public spaces for any length of time. I just get very anxious, and that includes just being in the middle of a queue, even if it's outside. I just get very overwhelmed. So I make sure that I'm, normally about second or third in the queue, which is fine, so I can get in and out quickly. But it was nice, and the volunteers sort of arrive around about the same time as I do, and it's quite a lot of stuff yesterday, which was a relief. But she said it's kind of all the wrong stuff, it's not much healthy stuff. So, but I managed to get enough sort of fresh fruit and veg for myself. Again, it was nice, and the volunteers arrived with their cars full of stuff that they bring from the shops, the local shops, that they're about to bin, and we all help them carry it in, and people of all ages there, young kids and young and old, people from all over the world, again, which I enjoy. So yeah, I mean, I find it very positive, and I don't normally have any long conversations with people. It's just a matter of hello and how are you, but it's enough to kind of lighten my load a little bit and renew my faith in humanity, that people are kind and generous and cooperative and creative. So what did I cook this morning? Had some carrots, parsnip, cabbage, and a can of green lentils, a can of beans, black beans I think they were, and there was a packet of fresh coriander that was, half of it was rotten, unfortunately, but it was really, really delicious in with the sort of the mixture that I made. And I put onion and garlic, lemon juice normally, and grated lemon skin. Yeah, really nice. So I've got that to look forward to when I get home. Maybe I'll leave a little for tomorrow. I'm due to go to the Peace Garden. I'm aiming to do that tomorrow, all being well. So, yeah, I had to, Trevor the tortoise, our tortoise he has to have like a heat lamp, like a basking lamp. And it broke the other day, and I thought it's just another example of things that Jan used to deal with. And getting a replacement for that. And we've got another sort of like a night lamp, but it doesn't provide any actual light for him. And I could tell he was cold, and I thought, this is an emergency, I've got to get something sorted today. So with my heavy pack on my back, after going to the food bank, I walked to the local shops and actually went to the pet shop where we didn't buy him, we rescued him literally from this pet shop, and the pet shop owner was a complete fucking arsehole. Because the people that had him for 7 years before he ended up in the pet shop didn't want him, so they literally just dumped him in the pet shop, and the pet shop owner didn't want him really, and he was on the top shelf in a snake tank with no light, no heat, and we rescued him, and that was years ago now. He's well into his teenage years now. Can't remember the exact year, but I've been here, I think it must have been around about 2016, so 10 years, so he's about 17 approximately. But anyway, went to this pet shop where we got him 17 years ago, and it's been taken over by a really nice, helpful guy who sold me a replacement lamp, and I was expecting it to cost about £62. But because that's what the price was on the box, the one that Jan last got, and it was 150 watt, and this one's just 100 watt. But he charged me £11.99 for it. So whoever sold Jan that lamp before really saw her coming. What a fucking rip-off. There's people all over, isn't it? But anyway, that was a nice surprise, and I've sorted that out. Sorted that little emergency out. There's a cockerel somewhere around here. A house along here, you probably just heard it in the background. yeah, a few days ago I was feeling utterly overwhelmed, just completely and utterly overwhelmed with everything, and just realising that there's nobody to be on my side and help me. And because I've got no fight in me, it's a fight to just get out of bed in the morning. People are just making mincemeat out of me. So I've just thought, well, I'll focus on what I can actually control. Unfortunately, it's not my mood and my emotions right now, but and I feel shame about that. And it just comes out of, I just don't know where it comes from. I'm not normally like this. I think it just comes from a mixture of anger, resentment, grief. Yeah. And some days I'm better at kind of protecting my peace than others. But at the end of the day, I'm a human being, and I'm not a particularly nice person at the moment at home, but I also do a lot of good every day, which kind of hopefully makes up for it. Today is another pivotal day, another decision to make alone, which is really hard. I've got to decide whether I apply for extenuating circumstances for this assignment again that I've worked really hard on. And it would be a shame because I was actually making progress, which I didn't think I'd be able to do at all. I think it would just be a shame to not have another go at it, because having sent the evidence of how difficult my circumstances are, they said that I've got solid grounds for application and that it should be fine. So I won't be starting completely from scratch, which I was last time I attempted it. And even then I wasn't sort of starting from scratch. I had done a lot of reading. It's so hard when you start a master's degree in a subject that you've never, nothing about. So you feel that you have to read extensively in order to, to talk with any kind of authority. But I've done all that, and I'm happy with the research question I've come up with. And and then this morning I was listening to a podcast by the Accidental Gods. Amanda, I can't remember her surname, but she's got a lovely, soothing Scottish accent. So I listened to it for that reason, but it's also very much in alignment with the way I live my life. Trying to find ways of surviving all these crises that humanity is in. And I heard this is an example. I've put the link in my post section to the podcast for anybody that might be interested, but it's like sometimes the universe, or whatever, that's what I call it, kind of guides you. So I think I was meant to listen to this podcast today, and it was it was so inspiring about community, communities kind of coming together to affect change, listening, not doing things to communities, but actually listening to people, how the community functions and the values of that particular community, just listening and empathy, and how change can be, even small changes can spread far and wide into something life-giving rather than life-taking. And it's very difficult, I know more than anybody else, how people are trapped in this system that's broken. And it's so hard not to give in to bitterness, despair, but I kind of see what I believe needs attention in this society and in this life, and I do actually take action where I can, and at the moment right now it's very minimal. Hang on. Where was I? Can't remember exactly. This podcast, which was really inspiring, and as usual I can't really think of any details, but it's all about there's this group called Retrofit Balsall Heath, founded by John Christophers, the architect of Zero Carbon House in Birmingham, he built in about, I think it was 2012 he completed it. That's an example of how communities come together and sort of retrofitted street by street the houses to give more energy, save money on energy, create warmer homes, and I was just very inspired by it. And I thought, well, the problem is as well, I've just not had any time to really sit down and consider my options, but it just feels too huge to give up completely at the moment. So I've got nothing to lose by applying for the extenuating circumstances, and I've got I've got until early mid-July to complete it, which in theory should be more than enough time. But if I don't manage it, I think I've got one more chance to pass it, and I'd have to be capped at 50%. It'll just buy me a bit more time. I just don't think I'm quite ready to just cut it out. Right now, so I'm not going to do that, I don't think. So yeah, that's the decision made on that, I think. Yeah, I have to kind of say things as they come into my head. So my brain's like a sieve at the moment, but yeah, I read some awful headlines yesterday about how Starmer's put us in the firing line for being blown to bits in this war that's going on, which is great news for us living in London. Well, it's Essex, East London, Essex border, but I mean, if there's I don't know what damage these missiles, I don't even know what they're fucking called, I don't know what damage they can do, but that's I kind of anticipated all this New Year's Eve, and that's part of the reason why I could not face another year, because it's just so predictable, isn't it? People are so predictable, playing their little pathetic war games just for power, and it's all these horrible, the criminals are running the world, perverted, paedophile, corrupt, power hungry, narcissistic arseholes. And it's civilians, innocent people that pay. And all of a sudden, your mind kind of shifts from here I am concerned about my little existence, my little world within the house, and keeping everybody, trying to keep everybody safe. Just in terms of everyday life. And then all of a sudden you kind of, the perspective is shifted onto, well, actually we're not going to be, we could be dead who knows when. A whole another layer of terror and stuff. And you almost think, well, what's the point in studying? What's the point in doing anything good when you're having to... The likelihood of the science centre that I study at is, chances are it's going to be closed down because they want to suppress the truth of how what's going on in the world, and the age of misinformation, I said in a recent video. And by the time I have to pay back the money if I complete this course, which I don't think really it's sustainable, but I'm just looking as far as just getting this first module out of the way and achieving that. and then I can kind of make another decision. You think, well, what's the point in any of it when AI is going to make us defunct as human beings? But I think all you can do is be guided by what you feel is important, what's in your heart, what's in your soul. And make the most of every moment. This life sure is terrifying. But for me, what's keeping me going is those... Here I am in the mud again. Whoops, I better get out because I'm sinking. If you look back in my videos, winter ones, you'll see there was a massive flood here not so long ago. And now it's virtually dried up. Got a bit of squelchy mud. Can't remember what I was saying, but this is another amazing thing that's just happened. I was looking at a picture of Sarah Ferguson with corgis this morning, and I was thinking I've never actually seen a corgi, a pure breed of corgi. I had, when I was a child, I had a beautiful dog called Happy, and she was a corgi and Alsatian cross. Never been able to work out how she was conceived, actually. But I've just seen a corgi called Toby crossed my path. So now I've seen a actual corgi. So yeah. So that was nice. Yeah, I have days when I can be quite philosophical and not sort of insanely, I don't know, just out of control. And I have days like this when I feel it's partly to do with my cycle. I'm at the point in my period cycle where I feel very creative, and when my periods stop, that's one feeling that I'll miss, actually. Along with the kind of the enforced rest that I have to take. You shouldn't feel that you need an excuse to rest, but society expect you to be available 24/7. It's hard sometimes. Yeah, I'm gonna walk to the tree and go this way for a change. See what's going on there briefly. And I've got breakfast with me again. Made Jan and I some porridge this morning, but I fancy soup, and I've got a random frozen bits left over from Christmas, like swede mash and things like that were frozen. And last week I got some sage and onion stuffing, and I thought, well, I could fry that up in the saucepan. And I've got seeded sourdough loaf, the rest of that to eat, and a nice big tub of soup. I can't remember the flavour now. Where should we go? Let's go through here. Might eat in this woods here. This section's called Claybury Woods, and the one we walked through just now is Hospital Hill Wood, which that's the one with most of the daffodils. Not daffodils, bluebells, but there are daffodils here. So I'll shut up for a little while and let you listen to the spring bird song as we approach the tree. Just say this one more thing. I did a silent walk video for day 115. I was actually really distressed and overwhelmed in that video, and that I thought, don't really want to share that, and just felt too vulnerable. So I thought, well, I'll take the sound out, and it's just nice for people just to experience the woods and observe. I love the shadows that the trees cast, and they say that just looking, if you're in hospital, just looking at a woodland scene, painting opposite your hospital bed, can work wonders. You know, it can speed up healing and just calm you. So I thought I'd take out my voice and yeah, if nothing else, it can kind of help you sleep, I think. So, right, I'm going to be quiet now. For the first time, I think I'm going to pay a silent visit to the tree and just let the sounds of the forest speak for themselves. Okay. Bit of a flying visit again. I won't talk about what I observed, I'll just let you make your own observations without my thoughts. Here's the other beautiful oak tree. That's next to ours, the Repton Oak. According to Jan the litter picker, is it Lord Repton? He planted these oak trees at the same time. It's so nice to come here with no litter at all. I'm sure that's going to change. It's normally barbecues and drug packets, and it's just a complete tip, but it looks as if they've had a big clear out and dismantled the natural fence here, because there's a natural fence surrounding this one like there is the Repton Oak. Judging by the width and circumference of the trunk, I think, they do look as if they're of similar ages. The moss along there. Before this project ends, I'm going to do a whole video on the book How to Read a Tree by Tristan somebody or other. Forgive my memory, but you can look that up. I'd quite like to read some sections out about oak trees, but I'm not sure whether that would... maybe I'll email him and ask his permission. So I don't know whether that would constitute a copyright breach. But I'd really like to read out some of his words next to the Repton Oak, because there's so much I've learned about oak trees that I'm too knackered to put into words, but we could read his words, but no, I think I might do that. I've forgotten how to get out of here now. It's so easy to get lost in woods that you've been visiting for years and years. I remember doing a January day camp. This is when I first started camping. Back in, was it probably 2024, I can't get out of here. It's a long time since I've been into this section. Let's pick this bottle up. I've got past a bin, so... Yeah, I was sat just over there in the woods. It was absolutely freezing. Really enjoyed it, but got very cold, and then the next day I had got this awful flu, and I think it was probably a strain of COVID, because I had the lack of, I can't get out of here. All the exits have been, they're all overgrown. So let's just go back the normal way. Yeah. Yeah, I had the loss of taste and stuff very, very poorly. It took me weeks to recover, actually. So that's my memory of that particular tree. That poor pigeon we saw the other day that had died and was without a head, that's been demolished by the fox, I guess, sadly. And I was thinking, this piece of land here, which normally it's kind of about 10 foot tall, this whole brown patch of foliage and greenery and different things. Some really lovely September blooms, like purple blooms and furry teasels and things like that. And I think they've put some poison down because it doesn't seem to be coming up. We've got a bit of grass, but I hope that's not what they've done, because that's a massive area to kind of poison. But if I remember correctly, it's normally burgeoning by this time of year, but maybe wrong. It's a mistake I've made before, thinking, oh, that's dead, and it comes back. But because it's not an area that you can easily walk over without tripping, so if they have poisoned it, I don't know what the fucking point was, to be honest. But anyway, right, I'm gonna go probably back to the place we've been the last couple of times. Actually, I'm not gonna go in this secondary woodland. It's nice when I've eaten just to pack my stuff away and I'm not far from home, so yeah. Must laugh at myself. I thought I was recording video, but for the past half an hour I haven't been doing, so never mind. Yeah, I'm here at the spot we've visited the past 2 times. There's more people around at the weekend, and I know that I'm probably going to be left alone here, which is what I want. Yeah, I'll try and write my journal. That's a chore. Still feels like a chore, but I guess these video blogs are a form of diary keeping, aren't they, for me to look back on, so yeah. When the sun's out, it's actually quite hot, and then when it goes in, I get cold quite easily. I've got 2 jumpers on today. It's not really enough when it gets cold. But yeah, I'm starving. I look forward to this. I am able to write my journal today, which is helpful. I've just made my cup of tea, and opposite, well, there was a beer can that I noticed last time I was here. I couldn't reach it. It's kind of right in the middle of a holly tree. But right next to where I sit, there was a handy stick that I was able to kind of prod it with to bring it nearer to where I could reach it. And then I found another can, so I'll retrieve those and bin them when I leave. So yeah, I'm getting a bit chilly now, and I can hear kids and dogs and people shouting. I think it's I've got no idea, but I think I picked up somewhere that it's half term again. I don't know. So I hope we get a bit of peace. It's the view of the clouds and the blue sky. Yeah, more green again, little tiny leaves. Right, let's get some food on. Yeah, before I forget, I've got Yorkshire Provender tomato and red pepper prepared with Yorkshire cheese. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. So I've got that. There's the seeded sourdough. I'm afraid I stuffed my face again with naughty things yesterday. But you only live once, right? And it's a shame that all the stuff that's bad for you is the most delicious stuff. You know, give myself a break at some stage. Brilliant. I've just turned my diary over. There's a great big massive bird poo all over that, all over my trousers. Here it is right next to me. Oh my god, disgusting. I think it'd probably be easier just to tear that page out of my book and get rid of that poo with some. I brought some tissue with me, thank goodness. Oh god. But that's the risk you take. At least I didn't sit on it, but oh god. Not what you want when you're going back to cook food. This is turning out to be not very enjoyable. Yeah. Example of how impractical I am. I thought I'd try and get it off my trousers with a tissue, so consequently the tissue disintegrated, and then I flicked all bits of shitty tissue into my tea, and I was leaning on my thigh, so now my jumper is dirty. I've moved up the branch a little bit, but it's not very comfortable. I'm sort of sitting on a like a slope. But the sun's come out again, and that's one of the pitfalls of eating in the great outdoors. It'll teach me to, you just think, oh, it's a branch, it's off the ground. You don't think there's going to be a big poo on it, and I don't think it was bird poo either. I think it's probably a little mammal, something. And now I've got, I'm going to tidy all this up, but I've got flies all over the pieces of paper I was clearing it up with. Brilliant. But at least they're over there and not over here. Oh dear. I'll still enjoy the soup. Yeah, it's frozen, that's why it looks like a tub in the pan. But it came out of its packaging easily in the winter. You'll remember that I had to put boiling water into it to actually prise it out of the tub. So hopefully I'll enjoy this. Cross fingers. Oh my god, I'm making a right mess. I've got soup all over my phone, all over the table, and because I've used all the tissues up, cleaning up the poo, all I can do is wash the soup off the table. Thankfully I don't live far away, so I can just bundle everything in a bag and wash up when I get home. Yeah, what a disaster. So that's the soup nearly done. I've been out for a long time. It's nearly the afternoon now, so I should be heading home soon. But I have had the time I need, I think, to make this decision. I can't make up my mind, so I might as well just apply for the extenuating circumstances. And we're all entitled to change our minds, aren't we? So just give me a bit more time to think about things. I flicked a load of leaves into the soup. You can see what a mess I've made here. So, never mind. Here's the view from where I'm sat eating my soup. Can't tell you what a mess I'm in because I've got no tissue. I can't wipe my mouth, so I've got it all over my face. Soup all over my hands, all over my clothes. I've just never made such a mess. That's all part of the fun, isn't it? One man passed by with his beautiful black lab. Fortunately, he wasn't a conversationalist and he didn't want to talk, and neither did I. So that was fairly painless, but all I can hear now is shouting and dogs barking and kids, and exactly what you come here to get away from. So I'm going to make a swift exit. get home to my cat. Neglected him a little bit recently. And yeah, get rid of all this horrible, shitty rubbish. Okay, so thank you for watching, liking and subscribing if that's what you'd like to do. I'm going to find the exact date that I started this project, and it would be nice to finish on time, you know, on that date a year later. I was going to give it until the end of the month, but what's the point in doing a year-long project when it's not a year long, right? Might already have gone past the date that I started last year, so in which case I won't be doing any more Repton Oak visits for YouTube. But hopefully you've enjoyed the series. So I may be back, I may not be for this series, and I'll think of something I can do for the next project, YouTube project. I think it's going to be music related, or maybe I'll do nothing at all. We shall see. So I'm going to finish up my food, pack up and go. Alright then, thank you for joining me. Bye. PS, it's always a PS, isn't there? I've left the rest of the seeded loaf for anybody that fancies it. It's quite common for nature lovers to leave a reciprocal gift, be it food, bodily fluids, a piece of artwork, writing, just to say thank you to these beautiful woods. Yeah, if this is the last video, quite a few of the sit spot, Repton Oak sit spot videos, Repton Oak sit spot sessions, a fair few of them have been creative writing based, some of which you can find on my YouTube channel. Some are on my Instagram with photographs. Gem in the Mud is my Instagram handle, and you can find all of it together on my Silver Therapy and Artistry blog on my website, which is www.gemmaboyd.space. Yeah, I'm yet to write up the last 3 months, January, February, March of this year, but there'll be a link to the playlist, video playlist. Haven't done any creative writing for a while. I've not been in the right headspace for that. But yeah, probably the best place to get everything so you don't miss out is on my website, and then it can the blog will kind of tell you when I sort of diverted over to Instagram. and some videos are missing because I've made them private, but you get the general gist of the project anyway, and I hope a few of you at least have enjoyed it and got as much out of it as I have. And like I say, I'll continue to visit, just won't be sharing it with the world. And yeah, any ideas about what I could do next? I think probably because of my restricted time that I'm able to be outside, it's probably going to be kind of art, poetry, or music based, so I can do it indoors. So we shall see. Okay then. Promise I'm off now. All right. Bye.